Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm gonna show you all how I get the juiciest fried chicken ever. And this is by no means a Trini recipe. It's just a recipe I found a couple years ago and I thought it was the most perfect fried chicken recipe. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. So if you want to see how I do it, then keep watching. So the first thing I have here is my chicken, and I went ahead and I pre-marinated it, but I'm gonna tell you what I have in here. I made a nice buttermilk brine, and this is composed of milk, vinegar, salt, chili powder, cayenne pepper, and garlic powder. And I use chicken breasts. I use about 3 chicken breasts, and I left the skin on, so that when you fry it, it gets really nice and crispy on the outside. And you just want to trim the excess skin and the excess fat out, and wash it really well before you put it in the brine. And I will leave the exact measurements for everything I used in the description box below, so be sure to click that little arrow underneath this video to see the exact measurements for this. I made this yesterday and I put it in the fridge, so it's best to leave it marinating for about 24 hours. Between 12 to 24 hours is best, because that way the buttermilk gets to soak into the chicken really well. So along with my chicken, I have 1 cup of flour, and to this flour we're gonna add about half a tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of cajun seasoning, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, half tablespoon of extra hot chili powder, and a half tablespoon of cayenne pepper. You'll also need half tablespoon of salt and half tablespoon of sugar. And then for the egg wash now, you're gonna need half tablespoon of garlic powder, about a tablespoon of hot sauce. You can use whatever type of hot sauce you want, or you don't have to use it, and 1 egg. So now you want to just drain the buttermilk out of this basin and make sure that it's not dripping with buttermilk, because we're gonna dredge this in our flour mixture and our egg wash. So just drain this, because the buttermilk already did its job overnight, so you don't need this again. So now the next step is to mix your flour with the spices. So you just want to make sure that there's no clumps in your flour. I'm gonna add all my spices and my sugar and salt, and just give it a good mix to combine everything. So now that this is done, you want to put up a nice pot with some oil, enough to cover the chicken in when you put it into fry, and you want to put it at about medium high. You don't want it to be too high and too low, because you want the chicken to cook fully inside. So while that's heating up, I'm gonna make my egg mixture, and then we'll proceed to coating our chicken. So now you just want to crack your egg. I'm just gonna crack it right into this bowl, and just add all your ingredients to it. And you just want to give it a good whisk. Okay, this wasn't a good idea. Maybe I should put this in a bigger bowl. So just whisk everything. Add your hot sauce. Okay, so now we're gonna coat our chicken, first with flour, then with egg, and then with flour again. And by double dipping it is gonna create a nice thick crispy skin on the outside. So first I'm gonna use one hand for the dry flour, and then I'm gonna use one hand for the egg. So I'm using my right hand for the flour and shake off the excess, then go over to the egg, shake off the excess egg, and then go back into the flour. And before you start coating your chicken, you can taste the flour to make sure that it has everything you want and that it's spicy enough. And you can add whatever else you want to add to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish these, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I've coated all my chicken pieces. I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up, and as soon as it heats up, I'm gonna take you over to the pot. So my oil is ready now. You want your oil to come up to about 325 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And I just put a little piece of the batter in there, and it started to fry rapidly. You can see it in the corner there. So my oil is really hot and ready. So I'm gonna just put 3 pieces in at a time, and you want it to cook for 15 minutes. Because this is white meat, it's gonna cook for less time than dark meat. So if you're gonna fry dark meat, then I would suggest you do it for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you want to turn this every few minutes or so. So every 3 to 4 minutes you want to turn it so that one side doesn't get too brown. And make sure you have a plate lined with paper towels, so when it's done you can put it there to drain the excess oil. So I'll show you how this looks as it's frying. So my chicken has been in here for 15 minutes and it's really ready. You can see how nice and brown the outside has gotten, and it's developed a really nice crispy shell on the outside. So I'm gonna put these on my paper towel and let them drain, and then I'll put the next set to fry. So the chicken has finished frying and it's extremely crispy on the outside. Let me show you what I mean. See, it's not soft, it's really crispy. So I think you guys should try this recipe. I use this recipe all the time and every time it's the same. It's really delicious. And you would think that for chicken breasts it would be really dry when you fry it, but with this, inside is really juicy. So try this recipe and tell me, how it turns out. Leave me comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.